Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and today we are going to talk about my houseplants that I have outside. I have 3, 4, 5, 6 houseplants actually living outside currently, and my entire cactus collection as well. But I do have a separate video coming out about my cactus collection. I have a few repots and just some updates. We're gonna actually start with what is adorning my front door right now, and I just watered them. It's been a very hot day, and when I came out here to film, I realized that they were looking so droopy, so I have just watered them, but I really haven't had to do much watering maintenance on these. But these are actually giant elephant ear plants, and these are commonly used in landscaping here in the shade, and this spot is maybe even slightly a little bit too sunny for them, because I have noticed that this one got sunburned one time only, but I don't know. It hasn't gotten sunburned again, but I just kind of wonder if maybe it's a bit too much. But I fully did not expect them to get as big as they are. Despite them being called giant elephant ears, I should have taken that as my hint, but they are just huge, and it's been so fun. But at the same time, I'm like, this was not a good placement for them. So I think in the future, I'm going to put them in a different part of my yard, but it is cool knowing that they come up so huge, and there's like so many pieces coming up from one bulb, which I also did not expect. So anyway, the point of this video, I am so excited to report that Mama Monstera has made a huge recovery. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you all of this new growth. Okay, here she is. This is the top, which was where it was looking really sparse, and then as we go down, it just looks more and more full and green. Like this area right here, I am shocked by how good it looks. And I feel like it's full enough now that I can take off a lot of these older leaves that are, well, obviously I would take something like this off, but I feel confident in removing a lot of the older foliage. Like even if the foliage is okay, like for example, this leaf is fine, but it just is ugly because of the browning and the yellowing. So I will probably go through today and just remove all the leaves that look like that, because we have so many that are coming in that look like this. And I really thought that they would size back down with just how, I don't know, just they don't have anything to climb. So I thought that they wouldn't come out this big, but look at how big this is. Like, it's a really good sized leaf, and that is brand new. Just saw one coming out here. Oh my gosh, we have some plant penetration here. Let me see if I can help. Oh, okay, I just broke it. But yeah, there's lots of new growth going on. Like pretty much all of this looks like so beautiful, new and glossy. We've got some pieces down here that are like offshoots from the bottom, and they're just looking so good. Putting her outside was 100% the move, and I just so wish that I did this sooner. I was just really anxious that it wouldn't do well, and if it didn't do well, I would feel really bad. But then it just got to the point with this plant that I was just generally over it, and I just didn't really care if it lived or died. And I feel like it's in those moments that you take risks, and this time it really paid off. So before we get any further, let's just prune off a lot of this older, not so pretty growth. Okay, so she's been trimmed up. All of that old growth is gone, and we have made room for very beautiful leaves like these to come through, which is just so exciting. I love how big these holes are. It's just truly the most beautiful plant. I am once again obsessed with her. Oh my gosh, look at this one. It's really just like cast in shadows right now, but look at how big that is. Look how holy it is. All right, now let's talk about my ficus since we're over on this side of the fence now. I am just so happy with putting my ficus in this spot. Normally I put them where this bench is. They were obviously getting a lot of sun, but they get a ton more sun in this spot, and I think that they prefer that, which is just great. We have been getting some really nice sized leaves. Like, look at how big that is. And the leaves that I put out prior to that were a pretty good size, but like, we're just at the beginning of the summer and we're already getting big leaves like this, which is just so exciting. We have one main stalk here, and then we have a smaller one down here, and then an even smaller one down here. I guess there's two down here. This is probably my least problematic ficus that I have, because ficus for me generally do okay, but this one, it doesn't lose leaves between seasons, which I think has made it look really nice and full, although it does get these nice, well, not nice, the opposite of nice, ugly brown spots on its leaves. It does hold on to its foliage pretty well. You can see there's a little bit of a gap like right here on the stem, but that's okay. I don't really mind that because the leaves are so big you really can't see it. This right here in the middle is my Ficus burgundy, my Ficus elastica burgundy, and this was actually my first houseplant. So we have we're having a full circle moment here, honestly. I am so excited about how good this plant looks. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 plantlets inside of it, and then obviously the 2 on top, which makes 6. So we have 6 stalks in here, and I'm really excited for the day that these grow up to cover this blank spot right here. I'm sure that it's going to happen within this season because it's already grown so much, but I just absolutely love the dark foliage here. This is a newer leaf, so it's a little bit more green, but that super deep burgundy color that these leaves get is just delicious. I love it so much. It's definitely a little dirty. It's been kind of windy, so I'll probably just spray it down with the hose to get all of that off of it. But look at how big these leaves are. Like, that is just such a good size. My hand for comparison. So nice, and it's just constantly working on new leaves. I'm just so stoked about it. This bottom plant right here is probably like the most promising. It doesn't have, oh, it's actually just like an offshoot. So the plant branched, which is great. So it's just like an offshoot that's coming up. Sorry, my camera died and I don't know where I left off, but in short, it's looking really good. Now this one right here is very interesting. So I actually cut this off at the top, just like a clean cut, you can see in there, and I fully 100% was not expecting this plant to do anything, but I put it outside just in case, just to see what it would do. And we have this like really cute tuft of foliage up here. We have a branch down there, and then like 2 little branch things down there. So normally I would cut those ones off at the bottom, but this is just a big experiment, and I want to see maybe if long term those will grow into nice looking branches, and then I can sort of like twist it around the main stalk, and then this won't look so empty. Because if I would have thought that it would do this, I definitely would have cut it much lower so that it would be, I don't know, so that it would have the opportunity to like grow and be a little bit fuller, and it wouldn't just be this tuft at the top of this long stick. But either way, it has 3 sections up here. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, and they're all about the same size. Ooh, this leaf is super new. That's very beautiful and glossy. So that's really fun. It has 3 branches on it, and I'm kind of glad that it happened this way, because otherwise I don't think that I would have ever cut back my fiddle leaf fig, because I would be afraid to see how it would branch. Like, I wouldn't want to ruin it. But I feel like this is gonna make like a really cool looking canopy when and if it gets bigger. So oh mercy. So yeah, that's a really fun update that I was not expecting to be able to give. Let's go back to the other side of the fence. All right, so we're gonna start off with this big girl. This is my, oh gosh, I literally always forget the name of this. Thematophyllum bipinnatum, I think, otherwise known previously as the Philodendron sellum. So this plant, if you will recall, looked horrible at the beginning of the season. I actually stowed this away in my craft room, and I did not water it more than once this winter, if that. Honestly, I don't even think that I watered it once. And yeah, obviously that kind of sucks. You don't want to do that to your plants, but hey, it's fine, right? It has since put out just a ton of beautiful foliage. It's been a home for bugs and all of the things. We've got a grasshopper over here. As funny as it is, I think that's one of my favorite parts of having houseplants outside, is just seeing the bugs like interact and use the plant. Now, of course, I have to do a little bit more legwork when it comes to bringing them back in to make sure that there are no bugs, but usually by the time I'm bringing them back in, the bugs have pretty much gone away. Also, frogs will use my plants as a little resting area too, and it's just really, really cute. So there's 5 main stems down here, and they're all putting out growth. One of them is a little bit more juvenile, but the other couple are very mature, and they're putting out nice big leaves like this one. And this one, as you can see, it's getting some direct sun at this point in the day, but it's really not that intense because it's diluted quite a bit by the trees and the tree line. As you can see, that's kind of what the direct sun is coming through. So it comes through a little bit through the gaps, but it's really not that strong. This one over here is huge. Look at how big that is. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. And the reason that it's putting out so many leaves, honestly, I believe is just due to having so much light and humidity. It is so humid out here. I am sweating my butt off, so I totally understand why this plant is absolutely loving it. Being from a place that is, pretty hot and humid, it's loving it. And the last plant that I want to update on, which still looks kind of bad, I'm going to do a watering before I go in, because I'm assuming that if these were thirsty, then all of this is thirsty. But I pretty much generally don't water these like more than once every other week, maybe. They just don't really need it that much. I think the moisture in the air really helps keep the soil a little bit more moist for longer. I mean, they are huge pots. That's about how often I would water them inside. So typically when you bring houseplants outside though, you're going to have to water them more often, but that has not been the case for me with these plants. However, with the ficus over here, I definitely do water them probably once or twice a week. Now, all of this foliage is like old and like a little bit, I just stuck my fingers in something. Okay, sorry, I think there's like a spider nest in there or something. It has put out 2 new leaves so far, and they are fully facing the sun. So I'm gonna go over to the other side of the fence to show you, but those leaves are so big and it just makes all of these other ones look like crap. I think that when it's time to bring this in for the season, I am going to propagate it and reroot it, because as you can see down here, it's just like we've got a lot of long stem going on, and yeah, it looks bad. And it's kind of hard to keep it staked up. As you can see, I've tried, but like all of this right here is empty, and the leaves don't start until like right here. That's like at least 1.5 to 2 feet off of the soil. And then with that, I'll be able to start it over in like a smaller pot, because if I was to repot this into a bigger pot, it would literally be like, I might as well just plant it in the ground. It would be so big. This is probably like a 20 to 24 inch pot, and I just don't want a pot bigger than that. It's going to be so heavy. So with that being said, when it is time to bring it in, I will be doing some chopping and propping, and this plant will live on in a new way. It'll still be probably pretty big, but it'll just look quite different. Okay, so here is the first leaf that it put out here. It's huge, hand for scale, very, very big. This is probably though about the size that the plant would normally put out. So this wasn't like too shocking, but it was obviously really nice to see. And then as I was talking about this plant, I noticed that there's another new leaf coming in down here. And it's coming off of this stem, which is not the really long one, but just one of the really thick ones. So it's kind of leaning quite a bit over the fence. It doesn't look like there's like a ton of fenestrations in that, but I'm sure it'll be a really beautiful leaf. The leaf that has really stolen my heart is this one, and it's still hardening off, so it'll probably get even bigger than this, but it has 3 mid-rib holes, which is so cool. 1, 2, 3, and that's about how big it is currently. So it's only been out for like maybe 2 days, and it will continue to grow even bigger. but it's just so beautiful. I'm really excited to start the plant over and have this be like the base leaf. That's just gonna be incredible. Okay, my friends, it has gotten very hot and humid outside, so I'm gonna go inside, but I just wanna say thank you so much for watching and following along on my channel with my plants and I wanna say an encouragement to you if you're thinking about putting houseplants outside. If you have a shaded to heavily shaded area, you might as well just try it because really the risk is very low. The plants are probably going to do very well as long as you can keep up with the additional watering. They're going to be really great, and when you bring them inside, they're just going to be so much bigger, so maybe plan ahead for that. These plants have grown exponentially, and I don't know where I'm going to put them. Hopefully the greenhouse is done. Now I'm back to saying that again because the greenhouse was definitely supposed to be done by now, but it's not. But hopefully by the time I have to put all these back, it will be. I honestly don't know at this point. Is it ever going to get finished? I have no clue. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.